Fishing News is sponsored by these fine partners. It's hard to even think about fishing during this crisis, so let me start off by thanking all the essential workers, first responders, medical workers, mail carriers, grocery workers, truckers, and anyone else that's out there working with the public in these crazy times. I must admit, I feel a little guilty standing up here and talking fishing, so thank you so much for everything. Anglers, be smart out there and practice social distancing, or fishing in New York will go the way of Rhode Island and be completely shut down. You should only be fishing solo or with a household member that's adhering to the social distancing guidelines. The authorities are monitoring social media, so make sure if you post online, be smart about it and make sure that post reflects social distancing. You can't go wrong with only one person in the photo with no other person in the background. Don't do what some anglers did on Wednesday and post a video on social media with 6 people clearly not practicing social distancing. Actions like this can shut it down for all the anglers that have been doing the right thing. Okay, now to Senior Editor, Fred Galafaro.
Hey, Tim. Yeah, and first a big thank you to all the first responders out there and anyone working in any of the essential businesses. We really appreciate what you're doing. And the best way you out there can show it to them, show your appreciation, is by doing the right thing, practicing social distancing, wearing a mask, especially when you're out in public. And, let's all pull together and get through this. Hopefully it'll end sooner than later. I'm amazed at some of the stupidity I see out there. Even now, like in Raritan Bay, there's groups of guys out there in boats. If you're fishing in a boat, you should only be out there with people in your family, people you sequestered in your home with. You don't go out with 2 or 3 buddies. It's not the right time to do that and not the right thing to do. So again, let's be smart. The beaches and parks, New York, we're lucky. We still have state and county parks open and beaches. A lot of the towns have shut down completely. No access to launch ramps, no access to docks, unfortunately. But part of that stems from people not heeding the call for social distancing. So let's not abuse what we have now in the state parks. We need that access just to maintain our sanity. And again, New Jersey just closed all their state and county parks and beaches. So again, let's not abuse it. There is some fishing going on out there. Again, reports are minimal, but there is activity. Raritan Bay, the bite is on there. A lot of big fish over the slot size, so it's basically catch and release fishing. For New Yorkers, it's definitely catch and release fishing since the season doesn't open until April 15th. Lots of small bass still spread around the island, and I mean, they're all over there. On the North Shore, all the bays and harbors, Little Neck, Hempstead, Manhasset Bay, Cold Spring Harbor, reports from all those areas. On the South Shore, the West End bays, Great South Bay, even along the north side, some of the docks on the north side if you have access to them, the Smith Point Bridge, Quogue Canal, Peconic and Shinnecock Bays, again, reports from all these areas. Most of it on soft plastics and small swimming plugs. If you're going to go with the plugs like SP minnows, please change out the trebles for single hooks. Some good news on blackfish. We had a really good fall last year, and some people are hopeful that this April would be different than last year when blackfishing was pretty non-existent. Well, already the first week we had reports of TOG in Montauk, some of the local pieces, some good fishing to 6 pounds on private boats. We heard that from Star Island and Westlake. From Ken at Tight Lines in Sag Harbor. He had good reports both from the boat and from the shoreline in that area. Again, TOG to 6 pounds. Flounder, very little to report on flounder other than a few fish. Scott at East End Bait and Tackle said they picked a few in the Quogue Canal. Over at Mike Saltwater's Tackle in West Islip, Mike said a few came out of Snake Hill Channel. And there were also up on the North Shore a few flounder at City Island Lagoon and also out of Oyster Bay. But again, not much there, and also not much effort on the flounder front. And just a bit of news too. The bluefish, new bluefish regs with the bag limits set at 3 and 5 for 4-hire boats. That those regs are set. However, they have not gone through the regulatory process yet. They have to be okayed by Albany. That has not happened. Delays due to the coronavirus issues and whatever else, but they're still not on the books. The striped bass regs are, the bluefish regs are not, which means that we're fishing by last year's regulations until they become official. And as soon as we hear that, we'll let you know. Tim, back to you.
Mike Dean has a report from the East End.
Thanks, Tim. I knew those things are going to come in handy one of these days. Hope everyone's safe. Hope everyone's healthy. The fishing out here in between Shinnecock and Moriches is, for this early in the spring is pretty good. A lot of schoolies, a couple of bigger fish at night, maybe just to about keeper size. Pretty much everything's been on soft plastics. A couple SP minnows have worked. Haven't really heard of any surface bites. There's just a ton of adult-sized bunker, really big bunker. Probably a picture up here in just a second. And, it's just one of those things like, put the time in. And obviously these days, it's a welcome escape from being home. So, but one thing, probably the most important thing of this entire fishing season is do the social distancing. Fishing's been shut down. Sandy Hook got shut down just today, I believe. Rhode Island's been very stringent on it. We can't give any excuse to have things shut down. This is what's keeping our sanity. This is what's keeping us all, very healthy with some fresh air and good peace of mind. It's 6 feet. It's not that big a deal. I've gotten up to a number of spring spots that, I'm pretty sure there's something there. If someone's there, just move on to the next one. We have 8 months of fishing ahead of us. Let's not, be short-sighted here. And, on top of all of it, for health reasons, obviously. I hope everyone's safe and sound, and definitely going to see you next week. And until then, have fun, catch them up, stay safe. Talk to you next week.
Captain Al has this to report from the Great South Bay.
Hey Tim, Fire Island report again. Small striped bass around, and actually I heard a halfway decent pick of flounder. So it might be worth giving it a shot. Get a little bit of clam chum. I don't think worms are available. Maybe they might. A couple of tackle guys might have some worms, but a small sliver of clam on the hook. If you chumming with a clam chum, I'm sure that you could catch a couple of fish if they're in the neighborhood. And like I said, most of the shops have clam chum and clam, and the worms I think are going to be a little bit down the pipe here a couple of weeks. But okay, so there's something to catch. Everybody, of course, concerned about watching themselves, keeping their social distance. And I heard, this is rumor, I heard reports, verbal reports, and it's not firsthand, not from the Coast Guard or DEC, but I heard the Coast Guard stopping boats. If there's more than 2 people and not enough room to separate by 6 feet or more on the boat, they send them home with a threat of a $1,000 fine. If they're family members on the boat living under the same roof, then that's fine. Or if you're fishing alone, that's fine also. So keep that in mind. Like I said, I don't have absolute proof or official word of that, but that's what I hear coming down the pipe. So that's it, Tim, and take care.
If you're going to give flounder fishing a shot, check out this video from Captain Al Lorenzetti. I'll leave a link in the description. Many of Long Island's tackle shops are giving curbside service. Call them up, drive by, and pick up your order. Or you can get your own bait like Jeffrey Hopkins did. If you have the patience, bank mussels are a great flounder bait. Make sure you have a good pair of gloves. They can be sharp and stubborn. There's no better place to practice social distancing than on a boat with your family. Check out a Sea-Pro powered by Suzuki. Low rates make it the perfect time to buy. Visit kalesfamilyboating.com for more information. From River Bay Outfitters, we have Paul McCain.
Hello, Tim. Well, this has been an interesting week. We've had warm weather. I've been hearing a lot of reports, both of fresh and salt. Behind my friend John's house in Reynolds Channel, he's been taking stripers already. Not big, 24, 25 inches, but nice. It's nice to see that they're back. Also, according to a good friend of mine, Big Tom, he did my fly tying classes, and he went out right behind Belmont on Carl's River. He's been catching fish on the flies he's tied. So, I mean, there is plenty of fish to be had out there. The Connecticut is still fishing well. People are driving now to Westchester because the state is open. All you need is to get a watershed permit, which you can go online and do. It's a New York City DEP. And get a watershed permit. It's free. There's a lot of good fishing close by. I was actually over by Green Island, and there were fishing. People were fishing over there. A little windy for the fly rod, but it was a nice day to get out. I will tell you, because of the COVID-19, the west end of Jones Beach is closed. They use it as a testing station. So hopefully everything will be back to normal shortly. And so if you want, give me a call, 516-415-7748, and I'll do curbside or I'll mail it to you. This is for fly fishing equipment. I'm the only fully dedicated shop on Long Island. So tight lines, everybody.
Also from the west, we have Chris Ludwig.
Thanks, Tim. What's going on, guys? So this last week I had a bunch of time on my hands, and I was able to do some saltwater and some freshwater fishing. And we did find the striped bass, so let's get right into that. I've been fishing the backwaters of East Rockaway in the 5 towns, and we were catching these bass on plugs such as the SP Minnow, bombers, mag darters. Here's a quick example for you. This is a bomber, but just to show you what we've been using. I've been fishing mine personally like a twitch bait, just throwing the SP out, giving it a couple cranks in, and then twitching the tip of the rod to make the plug dart in one direction or another, and then dip down, and then it'll suspend back up again, and the bass were hitting on that suspend. And this worked in a dock light too, further up the canal. We picked the bass up out of there, and it was pretty interesting how that technique definitely fires them up. Also, my buddy Joey Leggio was catching them on paddle tails, same area as I was in, picking them off of rock piles. That was pretty cool, all in the first, last 3 hours of the incoming tide. As far as freshwater goes, I caught some quality largemouth and a bunch of quality pickerel on those gambler paddle tails again. Things are warming up, so you're starting to see breeding pairs of fish swimming together. The largemouth are getting up on their beds. Everything's moving a little quicker. They're hitting faster baits. So every style of fishing is picking up, guys. Stay safe, but get out there and enjoy it. There's a lot to take advantage of. Take care.
Raul Ortiz, the urban angler, practiced social distancing with his family in Little Neck Bay. The family cashed in with some great striper action on the incoming tide that lasted for about 2 hours. Bloodworms from Jack's in City Island did the trick. Kenny Cannon is back with his first report of 2020.
Thanks, Tim. Report from the Northport, Ashbrook, and Eaton's Neck area. All town of Huntington beaches are closed. Boat traffic is virtually zero. If you have access to your boat, that's amazing. Go out and use it. There are the village beaches here in Northport, where I am. They are open. As long as you have the right permits and all that kind of stuff, you can get in there. They are pretty packed, though, so you're going to want to go either early morning or later in the evening. The evening is tough and the morning is tough because some of them are open, some of them you got to check with the gates, but the earlier you can get there, the better, and the later you could stay, the better off you're going to be. So there's tons of bait all over the harbor, tons of bait all over the beach, but I haven't been able to find anything underneath them as of yet. Me and my grandfather did take a trip down to the South Shore, Democrat Point, fished clam bellies a little bit. Didn't pick anything up on that trip either, but again, the beaches are completely packed. So if you can get out there early, you can get out there late, that's when you're going to have your best opportunity. Remember to keep your distance, stay safe, stay healthy. Good luck this week, and we'll talk to you next week. Back to you, Tim.
Peter Tarnowski didn't have time to send over a video. He's been hitting some preseason bass in Huntington Harbor and Northport Harbor earlier in the week, but he did send us this photo. The Fisherman is now on Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. So now you can watch this broadcast and our other video content on the big screen. Just search for the Fisherman TV on any of those devices. Joseph Bensavenga was bi-coastal this week. First, hitting Little Neck Bay on the rising tide for schoolies. He had his best success with the SP Minnow. He noted the bunker was so thick he had a hard time penetrating the schools to get to the bass. Then he hit Jones Beach yesterday for schoolies in the surf. Bass Assassins with a teaser fooled these little guys. The weekly April issue is out, and remember, it's only available digitally at thefisherman.com while we deal with this coronavirus situation. If you're not sure where to find the issue on the website, please watch this short video. To view the magazine online, the first thing you need to do is set up a user account if you don't have one already on thefisherman.com. Click on subscriptions, then click create user account. Fill in the info as it appears on your mailing label of your magazine. Then click Find Subscription and complete by entering your email address and assigning a password. Now you're all set to view the digital editions. You can find the digital version of the magazine by clicking on Magazine, then Current Digital Editions. Select your edition you would like to view, then click on the red box Already a Subscriber, then enter your email and password. Next, click on View Edition, and the magazine will load in your browser. If you need to zoom in, select the magnifying glass on the bottom. You can also pinch and zoom on devices that support touchscreens. If you have any issues, you can always call the Fisherman at 866-347-4836 or email us at info@thefisherman.com. If you would like to be part of our weekly video fishing forecast, we're looking for social media savvy anglers for hyperlocal reporting from around the New York Metro and Long Island area. So if you're a captain, tackle shop, or just an avid angler, contact me at libayrat@gmail.com. Remember, like our video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and tap on the bell to be notified instantly when we post a new video on YouTube. And of course, be a subscriber to the Fisherman magazine to be part of the Dream Boat and Kayak Clash contest. Check out this video's description on YouTube for all the related links and more information. And please support our correspondents by visiting their websites and social media pages. Be smart out there and keep your distance. See you next week right here at thefisherman.com.